Competition is the headline everyone wants to know about. I know that everyone's watching that regularly on a day-to-day basis, and I like the Shedeur. Listen, I want to be clear. Shedeur Sanders looked really good in the 11 on 11 reps he got. He kind of started with like he fell down on a boot play, and it was kind of an awkward way to start the session. But then he only got better from there. He completed a couple really good passes. One that was like a centimeter away from being a touchdown to the back of the end zone. That was a really good throw. And as I was watching this unfold, though, I was reminded just by, yet again, how the Browns kind of handled the reps that day.
What happens when the Browns start feeling themselves, thinking they finally got that swagger back? Then out of nowhere, Shedeur Sanders walks in and snatches every ounce of oxygen out the room. Straight up chaos, the kind of wild, meme-worthy madness that makes even the cameras blink twice. This wasn't practice, it was a takeover.
People believe Shedeur can 100% be the starter of this football team. You said it's incumbent upon the Browns to put him in a situation. It's also incumbent upon Shedeur to do the work, which at talking to people in that building, they have said he is soaking up everything like a sponge in the QB rooms, talking to Flacco, wanting to learn. And also, let's not forget Dillon Gabriel. Spent a lot of time talking about Shedeur, but Dillon Gabriel is a guy who was drafted in the third. One source said to me, he is everything you want in a quarterback. He's just small. If he were a little taller, a lot of people would be looking at Dillon Gabriel a little differently. At least that's how they feel in their building.
Shedeur didn't come to compete. He came to dominate. In Cleveland, they weren't ready for that storm. What was supposed to be a calm day at training camp turned into a highlight reel massacre, with players looking around like, yo, did we just get cooked by a college kid? They thought it'd be some light scrimmage, maybe a chance to test one of the hottest young names in football. But what they actually got was a masterclass in humiliation.
They said every quarterback in here is going to get an opportunity to compete. And I know that they say don't worry about the first team reps or anything, but like we know how this goes. Yeah. If you're in contention to be a starter, at some point I would expect to see you get some reps with the starters. So I don't know if that's going to change in mandatory minicamp. I don't know if it's going to change in camp. At some point, if Shedeur has if we're made to believe that he has a legitimate shot to be the starter, at some point I would expect to see him running with the ones, even if it's like one little section with the 7-on-7s or the 11-on-11s.
Shedeur turned that field into his own stage. Cool, calm, no ego, no flexing. He didn't have to talk trash. His arm did it for him. And please, if you enjoy this video, hit the subscribe button. It helps more than you think. That rocket launcher he calls a right arm came with GPS precision. Every throw sliced through the air like a heat-seeking missile. One snap, he's dropping dimes. The next, he's making grown men question their contracts. You could feel the shift. Veterans who were jogging through warm-ups suddenly looked like they'd seen a ghost in cleats. And the best part, Shedeur wasn't even trying to stunt. He just made it look too easy.
It's the fact that Shedeur Sanders had the fewest attempts. He was the most efficient and most productive with the fewest reps. So the quarterback tracker for those radio audience members, Flacco was 9 for 14 and a touchdown. Pickett 9 for 16, no touchdown. Dillon Gabriel 11 of 16, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And Sanders 7 of 9, 3 touchdowns, no picks. This, Justin, I've seen enough. I'm calling it a wrap. The Herd newsroom is calling it in Ohio by a landslide. Shedeur Sanders should be starting.
One by one, Cleveland's confidence got stripped away, and all that swagger gone in 60 seconds. So how does a college quarterback end up taking first-team reps in the middle of an NFL training camp? Simple, the Deion effect. When your pops is a Hall of Famer with more NFL connections than most head coaches got playbooks, doors just open. Deion's network runs deep, real deep. And when he says his son's pulling up, teams clear the schedule like royalty just arrived. But here's the twist. Shedeur wasn't even supposed to do anything. He was just there to chill, toss a few warm-up passes, flash that smile for the cameras, and dip out. Nobody expected him to start slinging laser beams like he already had a locker in the building. And absolutely nobody expected those throws to make the Browns QBs look like they were stuck in slow motion.
This nonsense already. Now, I know it's only mini camps. And I know when they put the pads on, that's when it's real. But no first team reps, even though everybody's been impressed with them. They want to see the other players perform. Dylan Gabriel, he was a third-round pick. You still got Kenny Pickett. You got Joe Flacco. So those guys are going to get the bulk of the reps with the first team. But they could have gave Shedeur some reps with the first team. But Shedeur be ready for camp in July. They said he had a great OTAs and minicamp.
Cleveland thought they were being classy, giving the young star a taste of NFL speed. Instead, they got torched by a college junior who turned their defense into a video game glitch. The moment Shedeur started letting it fly, the whole vibe changed. What began as polite chuckles and good-for-him whispers quickly turned into tight lips, quiet stares, and that uh-oh face veterans make when they realize the rookie ain't normal. You could feel the air shift. Receivers started drifting closer to Shedeur like magnets, hoping to catch one of those perfect spirals. One even started calling out, "Yo, throw me another one," like the hierarchy just flipped mid-practice. This wasn't a cameo. This was a silent takeover.
I can't imagine there's many people that think Dylan Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. If the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true. They don't know what
listen,
they're doing.
They've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Dylan Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I'd be surprised. I just don't think.
Well, then it is a wasted pick because you took him in the top 100.
Yeah, but potentially, may get away with it because of Shedeur.
Some vets tried to laugh it off, but deep down, that denial was cracking fast. When your tape looks like bloopers, while the guest looks like the future, you start rethinking your place real quick. QB2 looked like he aged 5 years and 15 minutes. The assistant coach, who was chilling with a Gatorade, suddenly turned into a full-blown scout, scribbling notes like his job depended on it. You could see it in everyone's eyes. Panic, curiosity, respect, all at once. Questions started flying. Do we have room for him in the future? Or is he the future? The silence said it all. Cleveland just met a storm they can't control. And the fans? Oh, they caught on fast. Social media started buzzing. Wait, is this kid better than what we've got? The stands were whispering. Clips were flying online. And suddenly, everyone was side-eyeing the Browns QB room like, yo, what are we doing here?
Certainly know how much I believe in Shedeur Sanders, who I thought should have gone #1 in this year's draft. And you know how much I believe the NFL tried to teach Shedeur and teach his father, Deion, a big, bad lesson by blackballing or whiteballing him as Shedeur fell all the way into the 5th round, where Cleveland finally took Shedeur 50 picks after the Browns had already taken Dylan Gabriel, who, of course, also plays quarterback. Not to mention the Browns already had Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett and, of course, Deshaun Watson in their quarterback room and on their roster.
Meanwhile, Shedeur, cool as ice. No flexing, no trash talk, no need to prove anything. Just clean drops, lightning-fast reads, and throws so sharp they could shave a beard. It didn't even look fair, like he was running on next-gen software while everyone else was stuck buffering. See, NFL players are proud creatures. These are elite athletes, guys used to being the alpha. But when a college kid strolls in and makes you look like a background character in your own training camp, that's when pride starts cracking. No bones broken, just egos. You could see it in the body language. Those sideways glances, that tight silence. The air went from fun scrimmage to quiet hostility real quick. The kind of tension that makes even a defensive coordinator want to snap his clipboard in half. And yeah, the whispers started spreading like wildfire, players muttering, "Why's Shedeur getting that many reps?" Coaches dodging questions with PR-friendly lines like developmental opportunity and mentorship.
Make a big deal out of this. But some pretty interesting information trickled over my phone from the Cleveland Browns OTA yesterday. I'm not great at math, but let's put the numbers up for the television audience. It appears in the 4-quarterback derby. Again, not a mathematician, but one of them has more TDs than completions. That feels important to me.
Please, those weren't mentorship throws. Those were NFL highlight reels in the making. Even the ball boys were whispering, eyes wide like they'd just seen something unreal. Now, let's talk about those coaches for a second. Their faces said it all. Some looked proud, others straight up terrified. One was staring like a dad watching his prodigy perform. Another was locked on the monitor, replaying throws like he'd just witnessed a UFO touchdown on the practice field. This wasn't just a practice, it was a revelation. The Browns just got a sneak peek at what the future of quarterbacking looks like. A young beast who's already NFL ready, and here's the scary part. He's still in college. He's got time to get sharper, stronger, and even more dangerous before he ever steps into the draft.
They say it's a four-man competition. It's not. It's two guys versus two guys. It's the two older guys to be the starter.
Yeah.
It's the two younger guys to position themselves however it may be and show little improvement every single day, right? So, of all the things I'm watching the first five when they break a session, the first five with the veterans, with the ones. Who's in there, where are they going? The ball's going to Jerry Jeudy, right? Flacco's no dummy, lasts as long as he has, right? He can really whiz it. But as we go on, I want to watch these guys because they probably just got plays installed Tuesday and they're out there running them Wednesday. Again, with guys that have no prayer to make the team.
Yeah.
And Shedeur's going to have to be so good to earn more reps that he's going to have to continue to deliver.
Imagine this. You're an NFL backup, barely hanging on to a roster spot, fighting for relevance every day. And suddenly, your biggest threat isn't a rival veteran. It's a college kid who hasn't even shaken the commissioner's hand on draft night yet. That's not pressure. That's straight up psychological warfare. And you better believe the front office saw everything, because execs love nothing more than a young, cheap, flashy quarterback with built-in star power, and Shedeur Sanders checks every box. He's got the name, the swagger, the followers, the highlight reels that look like Marvel trailers. He doesn't just play football, he puts on a show. Teams that weren't even planning to draft a quarterback next year, yeah, they're suddenly sketching emergency plans in the boardroom.
Matt Miller is saying the Browns will be the NFL's worst team and will still be looking for their franchise quarterback with the first overall pick next year. If Matt Miller is right, then I don't know. I'd have to assume Shedeur would have to beat out Dillon Gabriel to be Klubnik's backup as they go forward. Unless, of course, the Browns just say we've got to remove any young threat to Klubnik.
And don't think for a second the Browns aren't glued to that practice film, pretending not to be impressed while secretly replaying every snap like their jobs depend on it. Because they just might. That quarterback room, it just got a hard look in the mirror. And what stared back said loud and clear, we might have a problem. NFL reps are sacred, like top secret government files. You don't just hand those to a visitor. But Shedeur wasn't visiting, he was the event. Every drop back looked calculated, every throw came out with purpose, and every read looked like he'd cracked the defensive code before the snap even hit. This wasn't a lucky streak. It was a controlled demolition of every narrative saying he's not ready yet. One clean practice, one bullet passed through tight coverage, and suddenly, Shedeur Sanders owned the Cleveland Browns practice field without even signing a contract. That's wild. The hype didn't just rise, it detonated. He didn't just flirt with NFL talent. He walked right in, left a note that said, "I'm next," kissed the ceiling, and dipped out. Now front offices across the league are drooling, and scouts are rewriting their draft boards overnight. His stock didn't just climb, it levitated. He's no longer a promising college quarterback. He's the guy who made real NFL players look like they were stuck on rookie mode. Cleveland basically gift-wrapped him the best scouting tape anyone could ask for, better than some dude's entire combine performances. And now, while the Browns try to play it cool with lines like "good energy out there" and "great learning opportunity," the rest of the league knows the truth. Shedeur Sanders might be the most NFL-ready quarterback since Caleb. And honestly, that comparison's starting to sound like it doesn't even do him justice. The buzz is wild, the brands are circling, and NIL deals? They were already rolling in before this. Now they're about to skyrocket out of control. Shedeur's inbox right now probably looks like Black Friday gone wild. Nike offers, Beats deals, and a whole lineup of sketchy crypto brands begging for a shout-out. Meanwhile, back in Cleveland, things are quietly boiling over. That quarterback room's gone from competitive to therapeutic group session.
Doing great. They are both wired to get in early, stay late, put in whatever work is required. They're sponges in the meeting room, which I think is really fun for me. In my vantage point, I get to sit there and watch the two young guys look over, and there's Joe, 40 years old, won Super Bowl. There's Kenny Pickett, just going into year 4, but first-round draft pick that's been on a couple teams, won a Super Bowl last year. There's Deshaun, had a ton of success in his career. They can kind of feed off of all those guys. So that's the thing I'm really it's fun for me to watch them.
The backups who were once battling for QB2 suddenly look like they're replaying their own careers in reverse, trying to remember if they ever threw a ball that clean. Film review sessions? Awkward doesn't even cover it. You could feel the silence pressing down like heavy air. How do you even look your GM in the eye and explain that a college junior walked in, outperformed you, and didn't even bother asking for a locker? That's the kind of humiliation you can't coach your way out of. And the fans? Oh, they lit the internet on fire. Twitter went nuclear, Reddit threads exploded, and every meme page from Cleveland to Colorado had something to say. Why does this college kid throw better than our QB2? Became the top comment across every platform. Did we just get roasted at our own camp? Is now a legit question reporters are asking at pressers. And the worst part, it's all on tape. Multiple camera angles, slow-mo zoom-ins, mic'd up moments. The humiliation is archived forever, clipped, shared, and memed to infinity. Cleveland didn't just invite Shedeur in, they accidentally hosted his coming out party. And at the same time, they got served a brutal reality check. Because when the college kid looks more pro than the pros, that depth chart starts feeling less like a strategy and more like a bad joke. Now the Browns are scrambling, trying to run drills while secretly running damage control like it's DEFCON 3. Whispered meetings in dark corners, nervous smiles in interviews, coaches using words like valuable learning moments, and PR teams already drafting statements in case fans start asking the wrong questions. Cleveland thought they were hosting a feel-good practice. Turns out, they might have just filmed the trailer for their next quarterback controversy. All this chaos because one dude showed up through absolute darts and left the entire Browns organization questioning if he just exposed their whole roster or straight up auditioned for the job. The front office tried to play it cool, but you could smell the panic from a mile away. Those press conferences sounded like straight up damage control, and those internal talks, more like whispered freakouts behind closed doors. And once that practice tape leaked, and oh, trust me, it leaked, there was no hiding. No spin move, no fancy PR fix could cover it up. Now the Browns are being forced to answer the hardest question of all. How did a college quarterback look like the best quarterback on your field? That's not a headline you want floating around right before the season. Cleveland's calling it a developmental opportunity, but fans see right through that smoke. This wasn't development. This was domination. Meanwhile, Shedeur walks away with something money can't buy. Proof. Proof he belongs, proof he's ready, proof that he can hang with the pros and outshine them without even breaking a sweat. The Browns got humbled. Shedeur got headlines. And somewhere between the chaos, the panic, and the highlight reels, the future of football just clocked in for work, then walked out like it was just another Tuesday. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next wild breakdown. See you on the next one.